Hello, I'm Shweta from AstronEra, and I welcome you all for our initiative Ask AstronEra. So I have decided every Saturday to go online and talk about the questions that I get asked the most. So we did a few sessions before, and this is our fourth episode. On every Saturday, if you log on to YouTube, you'll be able to find these episodes of Ask AstronEra with Shweta. So for today's episode, we are going to discuss about this question that I get asked a lot, which is how do we spot aliens, or how do aliens exist, or anything about aliens at all? Does the life exist elsewhere in the solar system other than the Earth? Or how can we spot it, or have we ever spotted it, or and stuff like that. So that's what we are going to be discussing today. But before that, I have a small announcement for you, which is that since today is the Independence Day, it's 73rd Independence Day. We are stepping into the 74th Independence year of India. So we are giving 73% discount on all of our courses on AstronEra to celebrate this Independence Day. All you have to do is just put in this coupon code AstroIndia2020, and that will give you 73% discount on any of the course on AstronEra. And this coupon is valid only until 20th of August, so hurry up. You can just get discount on any of the course that you like on astronera.org. I have another announcement, but you're gonna have to wait until the end of this course to know what that is. So until then, I hope you enjoy the answer of the question, do aliens exist? So actually, the universe is so big, and I think all the astronomers might tell you that they do believe in aliens. Because I mean, there are so many galaxies out there. Each galaxy has about 100,000 million stars, and most of these stars have a planetary system around them. So a number of planets orbit around them. Our sun itself has about 8 planets going around it, and more astronomical bodies beyond that. So imagine many more stars just like our sun in our own galaxy, and lots of such galaxies out there, and each one having more than 100 million stars in them, 100,000 million stars in them, and each one having some planetary system. We are bound to find a planet like Earth. Actually, we have found more planets going around these other stars. These planets are called as exoplanets. So any other planet other than the ones that we find in our own solar system is called as exoplanet. So we have found about 4,000 exoplanets, and we are discovering more and more every day with all the telescopes and all the research that's been going on around it. So of course, having so many exoplanets out there, we can consider the possibility of some Earth-like planet being out there, right? Which might have the conditions to sustain life. So what are these conditions? What type of things this planet has to have so that it has a possibility to nurture life on it? So let's just quickly go with those, and then I'm going to tell you more interesting stuff about how these qualities exist also elsewhere in our solar system. So the first quality, or the first thing that we have to check if the planet might have to sustain life, is the distance of that planet from its parent star. So the Earth's distance from its sun is very nice to sustain life. As we know, only Earth so far that sustains life. So the distance of Earth from the sun is correct to sustain life, and it lies in the habitable zone. So if the other planet is in such habitable zone, it might have conditions to sustain life, because if it is closer to the sun, it will be a bit too hot for life to be present on this planet, and if it is a bit further away from its parent star, then it would be too cold to sustain life, right? So this brings us to the second quality that the planet must have, is the surface temperature of the planet should be nurturing to the life that it might sustain. If it's too cold, the life cannot sustain. We can take an example of Mars over here. So Mars is a little bit further than the Earth in our solar system, and that's why on the surface of Mars the temperature is too cold. And if we consider Venus, it's too close to the sun and it's too hot. In fact, the Venus is the hottest planet in our solar system. So that's why it cannot sustain life. And the third thing that the planet must have is the existence of liquid water. So now when I say liquid water, you must understand. I'm sorry, there is a bit of a problem in network. We are back on now. Yes, all right. So these three qualities. The first one, the distance of the planet from its parent star. The perfect temperatures to sustain life, not too cold and not too hot, and the existence of liquid water. So now we always think of Mars when we think about the life outside of the Earth or elsewhere than the Earth in our own solar system. So Mars kind of lies on the edge of the habitable zone because it's kind of close to the Earth, right? So it might lie on the edge of the habitable zone, and that's why the temperature might be okay, but since it's a bit too far away, it is a little cold to sustain life. But this means that under the surface of Mars, where the temperature would be a little bit warmer, there is a possibility that life might sustain under the surface of Mars. So when we think about habitating Mars, we must think about getting a bit of warmth under the surface. And the third thing about water, on Mars, we are sure that the North Pole and South Pole of Mars does have ice, so frozen water on it, but our condition says that we need to have liquid water, and since Mars is too cold, it does not have liquid water, but it does have frozen water. And we have also found evidences that in the past, long back, Mars might have had some water bodies running on it. So liquid water did exist in the past on the surface of the Mars. So that's all we know about life being able to sustain on the red planet. Well, there is another place in our solar system where there might be a possibility that life might be able to sustain, which is the satellite of the biggest planet in our solar system, Jupiter. The satellite's name is Europa, and Europa has liquid water under its surface. So the surface of Europa is made out of thick ice, but under that there is liquid water. And the distance from the parent star is a bit of a problem there because that might make it a little bit too cold for life to sustain up there. But since it's satellite of Jupiter, it might be able to have enough energy and enough warmth from this planet itself, if not the sun. So if we just figure out how we can manage the warmth of temperature on Europa, it might be a livable satellite in our solar system. But on these extreme conditions, we are still working on, and we still think that not just in our solar system, we have hope to find life outside of solar system a bit more than finding it inside of our solar system. So that's why we have sent Voyager missions outside of our solar system to look for the life. And we have put a disk on this Voyager spacecraft where we have elaborated where we lie in this universe. So there's a little map of Earth on this Voyager spacecraft, and we have also recorded some voices like bird chirping and men and women speaking on this disk, and we are in hope that some alien might one day find it and reach back to us, so that we will figure out that the aliens do exist somewhere else in the universe. So many people ask me that if the universe is so big and you do believe in aliens and we are doing so much to find the other aliens, institute like SETI is solely dedicated to finding such things, then why these aliens have never approached us? So whenever somebody asked me this question, I always recall this conversation that a great scientist, Neil deGrasse Tyson, had. So a person again asked Neil deGrasse Tyson that why do aliens do not approach us? And this scientist said that imagine that you're walking on a street and you come across a small bug, a small insect. Do you go and talk with that insect and ask how its day is going? You don't, right? Because you surely know that the insect does not have that intellectual capability to discuss something about its life, about even its life with you. So will not even consider talking with this insect. So similarly, maybe when aliens have crossed or have come across the earth and earthlings, they might have thought that, you know, earthlings are not smart enough to communicate with us yet. So we have so much more to do and so much more to go in this regard. On this note, I think the real question lies, which actually I came across while I was discussing these things with Dr. Govind Swarup, who is the father of Indian radio astronomy. So he actually said this one thing that stick to my head, and I'll tell you guys now. He said that actually we should not be looking out for a form of life out there. We should be looking out for intellectual life. So the real question is, does the intellectual life exist elsewhere other than the earth, and not just any life? Because even in the extreme conditions, like as I explained to you, like on Europa where temperature might be too low, or some place where the water exists in the frozen form, we can find life which we call extremophiles. So actually more about this is going to be discussed on our platform, and this is the announcement that I asked you to stay tuned for until the end of the video. My friend from Israel, Reut, is going to join us this Sunday, so tomorrow on 16th of August in the evening at 6 o'clock on our YouTube platform, and she is going to talk about the astrobiology. So tomorrow is going to be her first session where we'll get to know more about her, and then she will also tell you what all we are going to learn from her in the field of astrobiology, and she will also cover up about all these things that we just discussed in her course. So I hope you guys enjoyed my answer today, and looking forward to join you all next Saturday. If you want me to cover any particular subject, do drop in your question in the comment box. You can send this direct message on our social media on Facebook or Instagram, and we will try to answer your questions for sure. So I'm excited to hear from you guys, and I hope you also go on our site and make use of the discount that we are giving out. You have to use the code AstroIndia2020, and that will give you 73% discount on our courses on AstronEra.org. So thank you very much for joining us today, and see you next time.